Namaste. So we'll read Book 7, Chapter 11, the story of Trisanku. Janamajaya said, O intelligent one, did the prince Trisanku free himself afterwards of the curse inflicted on him by the Muni Vashishta? Vyasa said, O king, Satyavrata, cursed by Vashishta, was transformed into a demoniacal state. Pisachatva. But he became a great devotee of the Devi and passed away his time in that ashrama. One day he repenting slowly the 9-lettered mantra of the Bhagavati, wished to perform the Purascharana ceremony, repeating the name of a deity attended with burnt offerings, oblations, etc. Of the said mantra, came to the Brahmins, bowed down to them with great devotion and purity, and said, O venerable gods of the earth, kindly hear me. I, with my head bowed down, pray to you, that you all be my priests, Ritviks. You are all versed in the Vedas, so kindly do for me duly the Homa ceremony, equal to 1/10 part of Japam, for my success. O Brahmanas, my name is Satyavrata. I am a prince. You ought to do this work for me, for my welfare. Thus hearing the prince's words, the Brahmana said, O prince, you are cursed by your guru, and you are now turned into a demoniacal state. You have no right to the Vedas, especially you are now in the Pisacha state. It is blamed by all the persons. So now you are not fit to be initiated into the ceremony. Vyasa said, O king, hearing them, the prince got very sad and dejected and thought, Fie on my life! What shall I do now in living even in the forest? My father has forsaken me. I am banished from the kingdom again. By the Guru's curse, I have got this Pisacha state. I therefore can't decide what to do. The prince then, collecting fuel, prepared the funeral pile for himself, remembered the Chandika Devi, and repeating her mantram, resolved to jump into the fire. Lighting the pyre in front, the prince bathed and standing with clasped arms began to chant the hymns to Mahamaya before entering into the fire. At this moment, the Devi Bhagavati, knowing that the prince was ready to burn himself, came instantly to the spot on the bank of the Lion by the aerial route. She manifested herself before him and spoke in a deep voice like a rain cloud. O virtuous one, what is all this? What have you settled all these? Never throw yourself in fire. Be patient. O fortunate one, your father is now aged. He will give you his kingdom and will go to the forest for tapasya. Therefore, O hero, do leave your depression of spirits. O king, tomorrow the ministers of your father will come to you to take you there. By my grace, your father will install you on the throne, and in due time he will conquer his desires and will go undoubtedly to the Brahmaloka. Vyasa said, O fortunate one. Thus saying, the Devi vanished at that spot. The prince too desisted from his purpose of entering into the fire. In the meanwhile, the high soul Narada went to Ayodhya and at once informed everything to the king. The king became very sad and began to repent very much. Hearing the son's resolve to burn himself, the virtuous king, grieved at heart for his son, said to his ministers, You all are aware of the turning out of my son. I have forsaken my intelligent son Satyavrata. Though he was very spiritual and worthy to get the kingdom, yet at my command he instantaneously went away to the forest. Void of wealth, he, practicing forgiveness, passed his time in study, particularly in spiritual knowledge, but Vashishta Deva cursed him and made him like a pisacha. Very much distressed by pain and sorrow, he was ready to burn himself, but the Maha Devi preventing him, he desisted from this purpose. So go hurriedly, and consoling my powerful elder son, bring him but once to me. I am now calm and quiet, and of retiring disposition, so I am determined to practice tapasya. My son is now capable to govern the subjects. I will now install my son on the throne and retire to the forest. So he gladly sent his ministers to his son. The ministers too gladly went there and consoled the prince, and with respect brought him to the Ayodhya city. Seeing Satyavrata with matted hair on his head, with dirty cloths, and thin and worn out with cares, the king began to think within himself, "Oh, what a cruel act have I done, though I know everything about religion, in banishing my intelligent son, quite fit to govern my kingdom." Thus thinking, he embraced his son by his arms, and consoling him, made him sit by his throne. The king, versed in politics, then began to speak gladly with suffocated feelings of love to his son, sitting by his side of him. O son, your highest duty is to keep your mind always on religion and to respect the Brahmins. Never speak falsely anywhere, nor follow any bad course in any way. Rather, the words of the spiritual good persons ought to be fully observed. The ascetics ought to be worshipped. Senses must be controlled, and the wicked, cruel robbers are certainly to be slain. O son, for one's success, one should consult with one's ministers and keep that as secret by all means. Any enemy, howsoever insignificant he may be, a clever king should never overlook him. The ministers, if they be attached to other masters, and if they come round afterwards, don't trust them. Spies should be kept to watch friends and foes alike. Show your living regard to the religion always, and make charitable gifts. One ought not to again in vain, and always avoid the company of the wicked. O son, you should worship the Maharishis and perform various sacrifices. Never trust women, those who are inordinately addicted to women, and the gamblers. Never is it advisable to be addicted too much to hunting. Always show your back to gambling, drinking, music, and to the prostitutes, and try to make your subjects follow the same. Early in the morning, at the Brahma Muhurta, every day you should get up from your bed and bathe and perform other analogues duties. O son, be initiated by the Guru in the Devi mantra and worship with devotion the Supreme Force, the Bhagavati. Human birth is crowned with success by worshipping her lotus feet, O son. He who performs once the great puja of the Mahadevi and drinks the Charanamitra water, with which her feet are worshipped, has never to enter again in the womb of his mother. Know this as certain, that Mahadevi is all that is seen, and she herself is again the seer and witness of the nature of intelligence. Filled with these ideas, rest fearless like the universal soul. Do your daily naimatic occasional duties. Go to the Brahmins' assembly and calling on them ask the conclusions of the Dharma Sastras. The Brahmins, versed in the Vedas and Vedantas, are objects of venerations and must be worshipped. Give them Give then them always according to merits, cows, lands, gold, etc. Don't worship any Brahmin who is illiterate. Don't give to illiterates more than their beautiful wants, more than their bellyful wants. Okay, O child, never trespass dharma out of covetousness, and remember always not to insult ever afterwards any brahmanas. The Brahmins are the cause of the Kshatriyas. The more so they are the terrestrial gods. Honor them with all your care. In this never flinch from your duties. Fire comes out of water. The Kshatriyas come out of the Brahmanas. Iron comes out of stone. The powers of these flow everywhere. But if there be any clash between one thing and its source, then that clash dies away in the source. Know this as quite certain. The king who wants his own welfare and improvement must be gift and humility, show his respect especially to the Brahmins, follow the maxims of mortality and dictated in the Dharmasastras, amass wealth according to rules of justice, and fill the treasury. Here ends the 11th chapter of the 7th book about the story of Trisanku in the Mahapuranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jayanti Mangalakari Padrakali Kaparindra Darashamash. Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Bandhu Shachasakatu.